Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. Defining discipline is a lifestyle, a mentality, and a brand. And within this podcast, we're going to focus on self-improvement as you follow along with me on my journey. We're also going to hear from special guests of all walks of life on this podcast and their remarkable journeys that led them to where they are today. If you're just listening and not viewing, you won't be able to tell, but today is another solo episode. But before we get started, let's do a quick catch up. Today is day 32. I challenged myself to run 365 days out of the year this year. I'm 32 days in. It's been interesting, honestly. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's harder than I thought, but it definitely takes its toll to find the drive and be able to get out there every single day. Today, I didn't put in a lot of miles. I wanted to kind of keep it short, simple, and sweet. I put in 1.5 miles. That put me at a total of 107.7, I think. And for the year, I challenged myself to run 1250. So, I'm 12th of the way there so far. Last year, I ran 1,000 miles for the first time ever within the year. It was my first year ever really running in general. I made it to 1,000, so this year I thought I'd step it up, add another 250 to it, and that's where we're at. We're at, so far, 107.7. Last month, I did join the 100-mile challenge and started a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. And I hit the 100 miles, and the fundraiser, I think, is still going until, mid-February. So if you guys want to donate, you guys still can. We set a goal for 200. We surpassed it. Moved it to 300. Surpassed it. Changed it to 400. We've been stuck at 380 for a few days now. If you guys can, let's send it over 400. All this money is going to a good cause. None of the money that gets donated goes to Facebook. It's through Facebook, but all of the donation goes directly to the fundraiser, and none of it, Facebook gets zero cut, so that's a really cool thing. And I know right now is kind of a tough time for some people, so if you aren't able to donate, don't feel too bad, but if you can, please share the fundraiser. It'd be awesome. I know some people, times are tough, so you won't be able to donate, but if you can, just, let other people know about the fundraiser. That helps out a lot too. And like I said, this goes to a lot of good people. So this is, for cancer funding, and it's going to help a lot of people out. But that being said, I also, yesterday was the end of the month. Yes, on yesterday's episode, I talked about trying to do a fundraiser every single month for different causes. And I have to try to average at least 100 miles a month to hit my yearly goal, a little bit over 100 miles to hit my yearly goal. So that being said, I am going to try to do another 100-mile challenge this month. It won't be directly tied to the fundraiser, but I did start another fundraiser for February. Since February being Black History Month, I thought I would try to do something that would coincide with that. And I am in the Detroit area, so I wanted to try to also help out something in the Detroit area. So I did start a fundraiser, again, through Facebook, where all donations will go directly to the fundraiser. None of it goes to Facebook, so it's also, a huge positive. And the February fundraiser is for the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network. Here, let me kind of break it down a little bit for you. So they work to build self-reliance, food security, and justice in Detroit's Black community by influencing public policy, engaging in urban agriculture, promoting healthy eating, encouraging cooperative buying, and directing youth towards careers in food-related fields. This being kind of a running podcast and, not necessarily nutrition, but, kind of a healthy podcast and trying to focus on improving our lives, I thought this would be a perfect fundraiser to help out our Black community in Detroit. So if you guys have any money, you can donate. Like I said, you could donate to last month's, or you can, if you have already donated to last month and you want to donate to this month's, that's great too. But these are both great fundraisers I got going. Pick whichever one you want. If you can, please donate. You are helping good causes. Know that. That being said, let's kind of just push into today's episode. Today is day 32. Like I said, I only did 1.5 miles. I didn't want to push it too hard. I did do kind of intervals. Uh, I got the way I run. There's kind of big blocks. So what I do is I run as hard as I can for one block. I hit the next block, and I slow it down and just go at an easy pace and try to catch my breath. Then I hit the next block and hard, next block soft. I think I do that a total of 4 or 5 times for each one. It speeds up my time. It gets my heart rate going, and it's actually really really good for your cardio, and you don't have to put in many miles for it. And hey, today I wanted an easy day, but I didn't want to take it too easy, so I pushed myself, got that in. But that being said, if you followed along in any other episodes, not every single numbered episode I try to play off the number. This one's going to be a little stretch here. Today is day 32, so I'm going to try to play off the number a little bit. There was many things I could have played off of. There's ones I really wanted to play off of, but I couldn't really get into detail with it. This is going to be me kind of also. I didn't have anything written for this episode. I haven't in a few episodes. I'm trying to get back into writing more episodes out, but I've been trying to focus on other things. But for today's episode, day 32, we're going to try to keep it in that symbolic range. Today's episode's theme for episode 32 is going to be freeze. And the reason for that is at 32 degrees, maybe you don't know, but it's pretty much common knowledge. 32 degrees is the freezing point where liquid turns into solid. And you might be thinking, where the heck is he going with this? This is a podcast about running and health and trying to be a better person overall. What does this science class episode going to be about? Okay, well, we're going to kind of get really metaphorical here with this. So we know that water freezes at 32 degrees and it becomes rock solid, hard. But we also know that when water isn't freezing, water is completely malleable. It will fit into any shape you put it in. You put it in a glass, it'll go right into that glass and fit into it. You fill up the sink, it'll fill up the sink. You don't have any walls for it to hold it in. It just goes everywhere, And try to think of I'm trying to think of myself kind of like water. I've noticed that in certain situations I try to just fit in, instead of speaking up, instead of saying what I need to say or getting out my opinion. In certain situations, I find myself to be very malleable and try to just fit in with those people I'm with instead of being my own person. And that's the kind of metaphor about it is, a lot of us go through our day swishy swashy, just going around fitting whatever we can fit in and not being we are being ourselves, but at the same time, we don't have enough strength and enough toughness, I guess you could say, to just be ourselves and to step up and say what we need to say or do what we need to do. And that's why we're talking about freezing, okay? So there are changing states of matter. Okay, freezing, solidifying, or the exact opposite, melting, evaporating. There's all these different changes, states of matter. And what this whole thing is about changing our own state of matter. So instead of being able to just be so malleable and to fit into any situation, like, yes, that is a good aspect, or that's a good thing to have, is to be able to fit into certain situations and to be able to hang out with different groups of people. But when you're not sticking up for yourself or sticking up for what you believe in because you're just trying to fit in, that's not a good thing. So what I need to do, and what we need to do, if you feel like you're in the same thing, is we need to figure out what can freeze us. How can we solidify? How can we become hard? How can we, instead of just melting and molding to whatever we get put in, how can we get put in something, and then when we know something's not right, how can we harden up? And not just harden up, but expand. Okay, when things freezes, when water freezes, it doesn't just get hard, it actually expands. So that's why when you have a water bottle filled up, you put it in the freezer, and boom, it expands, blows up. That happens. Water expands when it freezes. So how do we expand and get hard and get tough in those situations that we need to? And it's kind of like just basically trial by error. It's something that I feel like I'm going to have to do, or we're going to have to do, depending if you're going to follow along, like I'm saying. It's something that's going to have to be done daily and bit by bit, and it's something that you're going to have to ease into almost. I mean, you can make a drastic change and just go straight for it and just, but I feel like that's a dangerous way to go about it, I would say. I think the smartest thing to do is to try to just slowly, don't mold, like I said, don't fit into any situation that you get put in, but to figure out the way to still fit, but still be able to have your own opinion in your own way of thinking. Now, I know on a lot of these episodes, I preach, especially, that I am no expert. I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be, and I will probably never claim to be. I know the things I know from experience, but even that is subject to change from more experience. So I know right now, I'm talking about trying to be tougher in certain situations. Yeah, that's a great thing that I know I need to change in myself, because sometimes I'll get in certain situations and I'll just stay quiet and just stay in the back and just I'll just be the observer, and I'm not very outgoing. That's something I need to change. I need to harden up, I need to freeze, and I need to be outgoing. I need to speak up for myself, and I need to figure out what it is that I'm going for, instead of letting, like I said, like water, you can be malleable and fit any situation you want. That's kind of the same thing of what I'm going for. I gotta quit letting other people make the decisions for my life and what I plan to do. That's pretty much it, guys. I try to keep it as simple as possible, trying to compare freezing and water and all that stuff to a real life. But I'm hoping you guys got the concept and the idea behind it. Instead of just being malleable and being able to fit in anywhere. Not that that's always a bad thing, but there are times when you need to speak up for yourself, and you need to be tough, and you need to not just fit in. You need to be able to push and break out of the boundaries that's constructed and constructing you inside this. Whatever's holding you in, you need to be able to break through, break out, get out. That's pretty much it. I want to thank you guys so much again for being part and following along with this podcast and me doing this journey of 365 days and 1,250 miles. I've also told you guys that I got other challenges I'm doing that I've not been doing so great with, not following through with them, all of them. But I'm working, and this again isn't about me being perfect. This is me about trying to be as perfect as I can, and me trying to just better myself and better my life. But so far I've gotten views on all of my videos. I've gotten likes on all my videos. I've gotten positive feedback from lots of you guys, and it's super awesome. I really appreciate it. If you guys could just give us a share, give us a like on the Facebook, the Instagram, our YouTube. You can listen to all of us all of these podcasts on any of the podcast platforms. Disclaimer: some of them won't be as they won't be so easy. Some of them won't be as easy on the ears as others. Some of the episodes I do shoot outside while running, so you get a lot of wind noise, some car noise, some traffic noise. Maybe that will be interesting to you. Maybe you will like that. Maybe it'll give you the feeling that you're out there with me. But yeah, guys, other than that, this has been a really awesome experience. And here, 32 days in, I got a long way to go, but it seems like I've been doing this for a year already. Yeah, thank you guys so much. You guys know I leave you every single week with a daily discipline for you to define. And this week's daily discipline is freeze. It's to figure out those situations where you're being malleable, where you're just trying to fit into any shape or any kind of situation, and you're just kind of sitting back and just relaxing and taking it all in and just absorbing it. Maybe in certain situations when you shouldn't be doing that, you need to be able to harden up. You need to be able to freeze. You need to be able to expand and let people know how you're feeling and what you're thinking. And don't be afraid, don't be afraid that you think that people won't like you or appreciate you for your opinions. You're you. If you're afraid people won't like you because of your opinions, then why do you have those opinions? Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but if you're afraid that's going to happen, then you shouldn't have those, right? Like, then you're not even a person if you have an opinion that you're not even willing to, follow through with or tell people about, or what are you doing? So for the daily discipline today, freeze. Figure out how to change your state of matter. Figure out how to become a solid when you're being a liquid. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I know today's episode was a little wishy-washy with me trying to turn this all into some kind of metaphor. But thank you so much for listening. Be sure to stay disciplined. Remember, I'm your host, Scott. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and peace out.